I like the SP2 because, one, the wrap goes all the way down. The design is elegant. It's not too much, it's not too little. You know, color scheme looks really nice. And then the 12-9 Revo just fits on there perfect. So to actually go through the process and see how every shaft is made and how they can tweak it this way or tweak it that way, so the process is incredible, and just being able to understand it and have trust that it's made the right way, and you know it's formed this way every single time when you need it. It's like having a little coach on your shoulder while you're playing.
The idea of Revo started when I first came to Florida in 1997, and I loved what the shaft did, what the cue did for the player. And I realized, well, there's technology out there that we have not explored yet. I really wanted to see cues designed for people, for each player, rather than one shaft fits all. We're achieving that this year. We're making the first, or our first, Predator custom Revo shaft.
"20 years from now, you'll be looking for a wooden shaft like a hen's tooth. It just won't be there. It'll go the way of the skis have, tennis rackets, golf clubs. None of those products are made out of wood any longer, but they all were at one time. It's just the way it's going to be. If you had a wooden shaft and you had a carbon fiber shaft and nobody saw either, which one would you pick?
When we play pool, we use every side of the tip all around, so that consistency is very, very important. Straightness is more critical than any other game out there. Then you add accuracy, flexibility, stiffness. When you talk about nodes, pivot point, you need to really understand, you need to master the game. We design every single shaft based on what the player needs to improve his game.
We want people to have the ability to use whatever joint they have on their butt, and the Revo fits it. We can give them a white vol plate, a black vol plate, any kind of material they want it made out of, we can make. We can give them any kind of tip, and we can make the weight different, heavier, lighter. So for example, if they wanted 3.5 ounce and they wanted a certain tip with a certain vol plate, and they wanted a 5/16 18 thread, that's all doable.
It's a level of customization that others haven't seen before. We design the different options not only with players, not only with our engineers, led by Paul, but also with our coaches, our pros, who were part of the process in the last 2 years. When I walk through our manufacturing, walk through our offices with our design team, and I see as much passion in them, I say anything is possible. And that's what we want to bring to the fans around the world. The ability to help you play one ball or two balls better than your actual level. Being able to win more games and more matches, and therefore have more fun. It's a Revo experience. It's a Revo shaft. What we've done, when you look at the process, it's mind-blowing what we achieved.
So I've always believed that you want to make the operation or the process that goes into
And we are live at the CSI Pro Arena in the Grand Ballroom of the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino. The CueSports International Expo features the BCA Pool League World Championships, the USA Pool League National Championships, and of course this, the Diamond Las Vegas Open 10 Ball. 128 players started out here on Wednesday. And we're down to the last 4 players, two of this being these 2 gentlemen here. Double elimination, race to 7, alternate break, world standardized rules, no early 10 balls. And you've got Jeremy Jones and myself, George THI, on the booth, bringing it to you live.
Yeah, what a match here for what you'd call our quarterfinal. Chang waiting to meet the winner here, and the winner of that match will go on to meet Aranis in the final later this evening. And I'll tell you, you look at the entire field, and we haven't got to watch every match, George, but I'd say it's pretty just the 4 we have left in the tournament.
It's the cream of the crop. I'm sorry. And to me, I don't want to call it a big surprise because, due respect to the gentleman, but the man racking the balls right now has really shown some heart and some talent. He's always had the talent, but it's really coming through this week.
Yeah. I'd label Ralph as that know-how. Been in a lot of situations. Maybe no one on earth has played more pool matches, and in a premium situations, big tournaments.
Especially
Ralf Souquet.
overseas.
Yeah, and I think we have 4 of our most dominant countries in the world of cue sports. American pocket billiards represented: Germany, America, the Philippines, and Chinese Taipei.
Yeah, well, we're down to 1 American right here, Mr. Bergman.
And a
dry break
to start. And it's almost like Ralph knew it. You see, he kind of went away from the table quickly.
As soon as he hit the balls, he turned.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch.
He missed the balls in the side, and then he kind of just gave up on the rack. You can see he'll start to go away before the balls are even settled.
And look at the 1 ball hang.
Okay, he's got to kind of slow pull this towards where he was looking, but where do you really get position at?
For the deuce?
Yeah.
Do you try to come between the 3 and the 6 and the 8?
I think so, and that's the safest route to not get snookered, I think, while still trying to get position on the 2 on the side.
Mm-hmm.
All right, looks
Yeah,
like.
that's exactly where he came through. Look at this.
Yeah, great shot.
Very accurate.
And even though he's going to get a little steep, he can afford to take a chance with just a high ball here, I think, George.
Off the 9?
Yeah, I think the scratches are covered up. I think him trying to draw to the rail and maneuver the cue ball is much more dangerous, meaning he can get snookered catching the 7. I would go with a high ball here, I think.
Yeah, he's going to draw to the rail and try to go between the 6 and the 8 again.
Yeah, he's got to really put some snatch on this ball. Okay, so he got a nice kiss, not to get snookered. I thought with a high ball, though, he could kiss off the 9 a lot of ways and get shape.
I thought it went straight into it, and it would catch the side just right. It was natural. It looked to lay natural on our screen.
And not very dangerous either.
Yeah.
That's the main thing I liked about the shot. No disaster like getting snookered, really, or scratching.
Yeah, we got to keep in, for those out there, we need to keep in mind that, the player has the best angle.
Oh, absolutely. Now, he's got a couple choices. He can bank this, or I like edging this ball when you're close to it and running the cue ball, I thought. But he's going to maybe play a 2-way here, trying to gain some position on the 4 while maybe he's just calling it just in case.
Yep, just in case.
Yeah, that 3's going to get away from him a little bit here, I think.
Yeah, but the 7's going to save him.
I don't know. I think he's got a little more of this ball than Justin ever would have intended. And that's why I was saying with the 4, 6, 8, and 9 there, I thought he might edge that 3 and just run the cue ball on the backside of the 9 and all the way back down table. Especially when you're close to it, that's when you can be really accurate edging the ball.
Well, look how even this match is, Fargo-wise. We're both at 792. We're on 30-second shot clock. And Ralph is going to leave an opening shot for Justin Bergman.
Well, Justin did get the snooker. Ralph had to elevate and swerve the cue ball. And funny, they're exactly 792 on the Fargo, but very similar styles as far as very good position players and guys that like to reaffirm what they're doing to themselves, checking their work. Okay, pretty routine out here. All the balls there in the center of the table. Just a little drawback for the 5 and a couple 3-stop shots until he has to move the cue ball from the 9 to the 10. Well, he kind of overdrew that a little bit. Still should be all right. Now here, with so much open, I don't really try to pinch the cue ball too much unless it's just easier than it's easier than I thought it was. Yeah,
that's laying pretty nice. He's just going to stop it. It's going to move just a little.
And he held it nice, really nice. Almost overheld it, really.
Yeah, he'd like to be up a little higher, so he just stops it there for the 7, and instead he's going to move up a little. Shouldn't change much though.
No, and Justin will play for more angle if he can't get heavy on the 7. That way he can move the cue ball easily to the rail and back out for the 8. No reason to get in that little gray area with where you're not quite straight in, but not easy to move the cue ball either.
Those are the ones you hate, going to the side pockets. And it's not far that he has to move.
Is he coming to the backside?
He might be coming to the.
Well, I would come to the bottom rail. Yeah,
just like that. Yeah. Ralf Souquet looking things over. Focused on the table.
Yeah, no.
I can't emphasize enough to a lot of players out there how if you just focus on the table without looking around at the crowd and things like that, how your focus can probably be much better for you, much better served.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, it's just like anything else. At first, it might not be so comfortable to you to do that, but it's just like learning to play a little slower and you get used to it a little more, and it really starts to apply and help you whenever it's your turn at the table. All right, he's going to come across, similar to the shot that Aranis had earlier to end the match.
He's going to.
That's perfect. Yeah, real nice. And the guys out there know if the table's gripping real nice or if it's a little bouncy, they'll realize that, hey, the better choice is to come across the position line.
And Bergman has taken Ralph's breakaway in this alternate break format. We are sponsored by Diamond Billiard Products, Kamui, JB Cases, Omega, World Pool Billiards Association, and Predator. You see the nice Predator lights, Predator arena lights above the table. There's 7 of them up there. Predator cloth, Predator balls. Justin's Predator BK Rush with the sport wrap. What else? Predator bridges.
Who's that? Oh, here with the
right here.
Yeah, well, you can see that Justin was just announced as a OB representative, player representative, sponsored now by OBQs. See his patch there on the back of his shirt.
Oh, he's using that Phoenix.
The Keelwood one.
The Keelwood,
right?
yeah. I think it's not. They can't quite call it Keelwood. I don't think. I think it's chemically. Mark was explaining that to me. It's chemically induced wood.
Oh, okay.
To be like the Keelwood.
Oh, pretty square hit there. Oh man.
And bad kiss.
Well, that was 1, 2, 3 kisses in the side.
Romantic cue ball.
Yeah, and Justin, everyone has their different styles on breaking the balls, trying to get the same result, basically. Making those balls in the sides, sending the 4-railers. But Justin was really happy, I think, the way he hit him, meaning he hit him how he wanted. Just, like I said, 3 kisses and in the side for Ralf Souquet. And talked about last night what Ralph does with ball in hand. Pretty efficient player. So he's got a choice. He can draw straight back to take that angle on the 2. He can go the rail and back out. It's just kind of up to him. A little surprised he's not drawing straight back, but going to the rail's fine. Either way.
Well, some players like to use that rail.
Yeah, but you notice how he's a little flatter to move the ball out.
And especially not coming all the way down for this 3.
Yeah.
So you'll probably go to the left side of the 8, between the 8 and the 9.
Which I think he was always wanting to do, but if he shoots the one and draws straight back, he gets a little more angle and a little easier to move off that rail. You know, it didn't matter
I
so
agree.
much there, but
Yeah. But the other thing is, if he doesn't get it down there, the 10 ball's there. And right here, there is nothing in his way.
mhm.
But no, either way, it's preference, as you've mentioned many times.
Especially when you're close to the ball. That's really when preference comes in. When you start to get a little longer, there's more of a standard way to do things that most players will be along the same lines.
But he runs such nice tight lines. The cue ball is just always where he wants it. Guides it perfectly. Ralph is also wearing a Predator patch. On his left sleeve.
Okay, just that nice little stop off the 6 to the 8 to the 9.
Yeah, this is one of these shots that I think I can make. I had the pleasure of playing a game of Scotch doubles with your commentating partner from yesterday,
Who's that?
Marcus
Oh,
Schmatt.
Marcus Schmatt. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We played a game against Mitch Ellerman at the Predator booth.
Yeah, well, Marcus, that's a treat then. Marcus, great player, I'm
Yeah,
sure. I know he
yeah.
doesn't play as much anymore, but I'm sure he still handles that cue pretty well.
He does fine. We didn't lose and we didn't win. Mitch won the first game, we won the second.
You might slide this over for the corner.
Stop it right there.
Yeah.
Now here's where he might play this ball in the corner, right?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
and that's what he intended when he shot the 8. He got a little angle.
Mhm.
The thing is, you don't want to overhit and drop behind it, so you always stay a little above this, even though you're intending the corner. Stay away from making a big accidental mistake and falling, you know, to a steep cut shot on the 9. I think people call it to a blind pocket when you fall behind the
Right,
ball. Kinda,
right.
So.
But yeah.
All right, 1-1.
He just came off of a great win over Copigny. I think he defeated him 7-3. No, it was
Wow.
7-2. The score's still up there.
Well, big hats off to him and Chris Robinson, California, with a big 5th, 6th finish. Both them guys. Chris played awful steady.
Mm-hmm.
Especially what I liked was not only playing these great players, and Chris is a great player himself, but he had a lot of close ones with him. So that really even shows more that, you know, coming down the stretch, he beat a lot of guys in those, you know, one thing if you're up 4 or 5 games, but 7-5, 7-6 in those situations, coming with big shots, pretty proud of him.
Yeah, well, Chris Robinson and Copigny ended up 5th, 6th.
That's correct.
Skorsky and
Woo.
Is it? Yeah, that's what we're missing. Wu ended up 7th, 8th, Orgoglio, Duel, Filler, and Kachi. 9th through 12th, and 13th through 16 was Oi, Beato, Kazakis, and pronounce that last name for me.
I'd have to be able to see it first, George.
Song Hig. See?
I'm going to leave that one to you.
John just told me how to pronounce it.
Yeah, you were saying that beforehand.
Yes,
actually.
just before we
That's right.
sat down, and then I opened my mouth and lost the pronunciation.
Okay, a 5 ball that's does go in the upper corner. Can't really shoot it in the nearest corner to the 5 because hard to get position from the 5 to the 7 later on. So first concern though is burying this 1 ball because he's certainly going to shoot at it. Probably just come naturally 2 rails towards the 10, maybe 4 rails. Yeah, he went 4. And that's what'll happen sometimes when you know, he's right on the border of should I go 4 around the 10 or should I just coast it in 2 rails, right? So kind of like you just kind of try to help it a little bit with that little bit thinner cut to move the cue ball, you know?
Yeah. Well, you just trust your stroke a little bit more with the full stroke.
Yeah. You don't see Ralph get quick much. He was a little quick on the delivery there, and that's a good look as far as he's got a nice shot on the 1. Not easy, but you can see there that the 5 definitely passes the 8 all the way up where he's shooting the 1. So not going to be an easy shot, and really not easy to get from the 4 to the 5. So again, first things first, make the 1 ball.
Yeah, that 5's real tight by that 8 ball on the side.
Yeah, I think it does go.
It does go down the rail.
Yeah, and you'd want to play it long just to be able to gain position, most likely, on the 7. And also, if you try to gain position on the other side of the 5, you mean shoot it to the short pocket. Well, you can see how easily it'd be to get snookered.
Oh, sure. 8 ball's basically on top of it from that angle.
Yeah, so here he's perfect to hit a follow shot and come across.
Yes, he's looking at it. (128-man player field, and there's 4 guys left.
He's going to have to show off his skills here if he wants to play some position, whether that pound that out a little bit, take on the bank on the 7, or, you know, really kind of muscle up and draw this ball back to the bottom rail and out.
What do you think you'd do with this right here?
Well, I mean, you can play for the bank and the safety here very easily. That's the one good thing about just kind of cinching the ball and play for the bank. If you do miss the 5, probably going to get safe.
I think he looks like the way he's looking at it, I think he's playing for the bank, bringing the cue ball down 2 rails for the 8 in the same pocket. Not either in the side or in the corner.
Well, and the one thing I like about that, I don't think Justin really thought about the safety as much as, hey, I don't mind the bank, so let me not fool around on this 5 trying to get straight in position on the 7. So I think even more so than trying to play a 2-way there,
Sure.
It was more about, hey, the biggest percentage on getting out, actually.
This track's right towards the corner.
Yeah, you have to make a decision.
Whether you draw it a little bit or you play it
Looks
in the
like
corner.
he's playing it in the corner.
He is.
Could have used a little more out of that, but still all right. He's still okay. Only thing here is if he hits it with a straight high ball, he may be coming on top of the 10, so he's got to address it with some outside English or a lot of heavy inside English. Probably just a little left. Float back down the table. Nice shot.
Very confident shot that was. To hit it real soft. A lot of players have a tendency of, as you say, being a little quick with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like they've taken turns winning on each other's break. Looking around the room, we still got a lot of play in here. We got a lot of players coming in. We have the teams coming in Monday, I believe, Monday and Tuesday. So we'll have quite a few players here at the Rio in Las Vegas. All sanitary precautions being duly taken. There's Skylar Woodward, Joey Gray, Billy Thorpe. Watt looking on. They're not even drinking. Now, Joey's your assistant captain, right, for the Moscone Cup?
Oh, that's correct.
And probably Skylar and Billy are on your team.
Oh, well,
Possibly.
well,
Well,
yeah,
remains to be seen, of course.
they certainly have a good shot, but yeah, we won't know any of that till much later in the year. Okay, didn't hear anything down.
Yo.
A little bit of fortune with the dry break and not leaving Ralph an offensive shot. And we talked about it all week. A difficult position to roll out at this level most of the time.
Let's see where he rolls out to.
Yeah, and that's the thing with all those balls up there. You almost have to roll out to something challenging here, or a kick shot of some sort. You can't roll out to where he's got a choice, offensive or defensive.
Well, if anyone has the experience to pick the right shot, I'm counting on this gentleman right here.
So it's definitely the kick shot he's rolling out to. He's not rolling out. Well, he did roll out to a small piece of the ball. Maybe more than he wanted to, really. The thing is, where he's rolled out to and the ball frozen, yeah, I was about to say, and besides cutting the one below the 10 and letting the cue ball go the side rail, maybe back up on the 6, that's what he's looking at. That's the only shot that I see. Cut the one below the 10 and let the cue ball hit the side rail and try and drift on back of the 6 and 10. It's a delicate shot, but that's really about all he's got. If he tries to get one back down table, he's going to double kiss the one ball, I believe. I think, anyways, the way the balls are set up. Yeah, I didn't see. I thought he would just do the same thing, right? But just float the one to the end rail and let the cue ball try to come one rail up and rest near the 10 and 6.
Okay.
I think that was a good pass by Justin. But I didn't see the path to get the one all the way back down table like
I was
like
struggling
Ralph
to see what he was thinking of doing there. When you pointed out the kiss, it looked very like it was on. And there goes the extension early in the game.
And is he going to try and shoot the gap here? I know getting all the way across for the 2 doesn't give you easy position on the 3, but I'd sure hate to get snookered here on my first shot.
Yeah, I think he goes with a little. Oh, he's drawing the ball.
Yeah, he's just pounding across a little bit. I didn't get there. Maybe the jump cue, maybe.
He's trying to see if he can reach it.
Now here he can kick to try and make this ball, and he's got a lot of opportunities to maybe sneak the cue ball safe. And he's going to try and catch it full and bang it around if he misses the kick.
Yeah, he's left the shot.
Yeah,
Tough one. Bit of a cut.
Yeah, pretty natural 2-rail position. He can come long or he can come 2 rails right at the 9. They both lay nice. So if he's hitting more of a high left cue ball, he'll come above the 9. And if he's hitting more of a right English, he'll come 2 rails pretty much into the 9, I think. Okay, it looks like he's cueing it.
It's for the left-hand corner.
Yeah, so he'll come above. Oh, okay. Caught a little thick, so is the cue ball going to get there? Yeah, that's the problem.
It's going to rest on the 9.
Yeah, so he was trying to come above the 9, but he changed the route of the cue ball and the speed of the cue ball whenever he caught the 2 pretty thick to the pocket.
He hits that a little thinner and he gets around the 9, and he's looking at his tying up the match.
Well, this is a kick shot that you should be accurate hitting the top of the ball, so don't totally baby it. You want the cue ball to continue traveling maybe towards the 8, maybe behind the 5, maybe kissing the 8 and getting behind the 5. I think that's still the correct shot, what he's doing here. So, of course, don't blast it, but don't totally baby it. Yeah, like, ooh, wow. Try that again, George.
To go between them.
And then below it, above it and below
right.
it. That was at that straight angle. That was That was a hard proposition.
I actually thought he had a good chance of either executing
it,
the shot,
yeah.
or maybe, you know, if he misses it, banking it to the middle of the table, and the cue ball might end up behind the 5-8, somewhere over there. Well, now Justin has an opportunity here to widen his lead by a game to 2.
Yeah, and the way the 6 lays here, he's got to really be careful coming to the middle of this table. He's got to get below the 10 to get on the 6 if he's going to play off the 5-1 rail.
Or get to the left side of the table and play it in the opposite corner.
That's perfect there. It's enough angle to make it move easily, right? So the pocket's going to be
It's going to be down there at the bottom.
nice and wide, and it's going to be still easily to dig on. It's enough to dig on the cue ball and get the cue ball deep for the 6. So pretty ideal where you want here. Oh, that's not enough. That's not it.
Yeah, I thought he might go 2 rails across, which would have been made it, you know, increase the difficulty of the shot, because he had to come down pretty low and still.
Well, I think he overhit it first off, allowing it not to draw as much, you know.
Bank it in the corner.
Yeah, the thing here is if the bank's not on, he's got some safety options here he should consider. Because if he's like pushing the bank like it's really not on, the kiss and all that, oh, what a nice swing that was. Yeah, good shot. Pretty easy here, 1 rail or 3. Just depends on how he wants to play it.
Looks like the 3 ends up pretty nice, lines up pretty nice.
I'll tell you what it does also. It really gives you a lot of confidence as far as moving the cue ball on that table, getting very comfortable. Say, hey, if I do need to move it 3 rails and fall in a little area here, my speed's getting better and better.
Gives you a little better grasp of your speed.
Yeah,
exactly.
Rather than also trying to dink the ball and kill it with inside. And, you know, instead of, you want to make more of those comfortable strokes.
Sure. Totally agree. Sometimes it's easier to play that shot 3 rails to the middle there than it is to maybe just draw it 1.5 feet.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, Justin had no problem drawing that one 1.5 feet.
And I'll tell you.
3-1 lead. These gentlemen are playing for a difference of $2,000. The loser here will take home $4,000, and if they go on to 3rd place and take 3rd place, that one's worth $6,000. And of course, 2nd place is 10, and 1st place 17. I believe with his 5th, 6th finish, does Chris get into the Predator?
I believe so, yeah. I know Ralph's in the Predator.
Yeah, he's already there. And,
Justin's in the Predator.
So
Chang's in the Predator, and you'd have to believe that.
Filler, Kachi, I believe Duel's already in too, so is Urcollo.
I think Aranis is already in as well. So definitely Robinson's going to get one of those spots. And I think after this is concluded, Predator and CSI will
announce.
Yeah, the full field. Oh, I missed him a little on the offside, but the timing was really good. Pouring him in, actually.
Well, he's got a nice shot on the 1 to start things out, and everything spread out really nice. Made 3 balls on the break, pouring him in, as you said.
Yeah, and they kind of connect to each other here.
Yes.
The 2's next to the 4, the 4's near the 6, the 8's right cross side from the 6, so.
Minimal movement for the cue ball. I think he's going to move the cue ball more on this shot than on any other after that.
Yeah.
If his, if his ankles come up right.
Yeah, so kind of up to him here. I probably wouldn't contact the 2nd rail here, but this is where if he's thinner, he's going to go ahead and do that. Yeah. All right, that's good.
Beautifully done, because now he's just a stop shot on the deuce.
And the one thing is, pay attention to it though. Make sure you don't mishit it and the cue ball leans to that side rail or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yep.
So, which Ralph will be very aware of that.
That's what I call a stop shot.
Mm-hmm.
Just put a little bit on to get low a little, or just leave it there. Just make it.
Yeah, he's not going to do
He's
much.
not gonna do much,
He's just
yeah.
going to take the natural here, come out maybe a ball above where the 6 was. Yeah, right there.
Oh, he's absolutely perfect. Those were 4 shots playing position that he didn't mind getting straight in on all 4. Thank you guys for tuning in to CSI YouTube channel. Spent some time here with Jeremy and I this week, and we've still got next week. Starting on Monday, we'll start with the Predator World 10 Ball. 64 of the finest players on the face of the earth. If you guys are able, I would make a trip to Vegas and watch these guys. They can all play real good. Thus, their rankings. I believe Ralph in the WPA rankings is 12th, if I'm not mistaken. Let me confirm that. Yes, he is 12th. There goes a 9.
And the one's going to
stayed
oh,
out.
it stayed out. I thought it was in also going tracking down the table.
Perfect. Yeah, I thought it was going straight down the hole. Instead, here comes Ralph.
And he's got to cheat the pocket a little bit to come down the right side of the table and hit that little gap for the 2 ball between the 7-10.
Yeah, this 2 balls, no picnic though. Yeah.
I think
Just like you said,
pretty
you just,
big area though.
Just come down by the side pocket.
Yeah, and he's just got to, you know, the one's close enough to the hole that where he can comfortably cheat the pocket to create the cue ball movement coming down, and I think he'll just do it slowly. Doesn't mind shooting the 2 from a little further away. It just doesn't want to risk over hitting the ball. No, he's hitting a draw. Okay, he can cheat it the other way. Okay. I thought he would had to cheat it to the top of the pocket and go to the bottom rail, or what would have been the top rail. Excuse me.
I'd like to be a little closer to this 2 ball, a little closer to the side pocket.
Yeah. I think he can draw into the 10, though, right? I mean, is he going to follow and catch the 10? Is that what's going to happen? I would draw into this 10 myself. Now the 10 may get
in the way of the 3.
Well, maybe. Oh, he's dragging it.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, nice shot.
He does just fine with it. Now it coming up off the bottom rail onto the 3 just leads him right into the 4 for the side pocket, and then the 5 in the same pocket.
And you don't want to really risk the way the balls are so available. The 5 over the side, the 6 very available. Don't risk trying to get so great on the 4. You can cut the 4, and don't risk getting behind the 8. So he's spread into there real nice. But also a good foot or so away from the 8 ball, which was key.
And he's not over the 6. Everything is just real nice about this layout.
And a good look at Justin, just waiting for his opportunity after a dry break. Now both players have had a dry break. I think the 8 passes the 9, but not a big pocket. So
no, it doesn't.
it doesn't.
I'm down here. Maybe. Maybe I just.
Just saying he's going to have to move the cue ball from the 7 to the 8.
Or play the 8-9 combo.
True.
Because it would be real close to, oh, well, the 7 ball. No. It's down here. Sure, he'll take a look at it. No,
Interesting.
he's not looking at it.
He didn't get it. Well, he's definitely intending to get to the backside of the 8, I believe, somehow. Whether it be short side for the corner or underneath. I don't think underneath, but the thing is, he got a little flat here. So he's probably going to draw towards and get closer to the 7 because he really doesn't have a 2-rail angle off the 7 with the 10 being there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to draw down and manufacture from here, and now he's gotten perfect. Looks like to me he can pinch draw this above the side and have a nice shot on the 8 in the upper right. And you notice all this when he's kind of moving into positions that could get away from him. He's staying off the rail with the cue ball, though.
Mm-hmm.
That way, if he needs to recover somehow, he can do it. Very important.
Just like you call that, just right over for that ball. And he needs these 3 balls to get to 3 to tie up the score in the match. These are brand new diamond tables, 9-footers. Did get around to measuring the pockets. They are 4.5.
Should just come straight down the table. A lot of amateurs would try to get to that right side rail thinking that's just kind of what you're supposed to do. But,
Yeah.
And I understand that. You know, it's kind of a natural thing to flick it in with a little right English and go to that side rail. But
This shot here is just pocket the ball. You don't worry about stopping the ball, doing anything with the ball. Just rolling the ball in. And we are tied at 3 in this race to 7. Both players fighting to go on. Trying to get into that final match against James Aranas. I believe Ralf Souquet played him this morning, first thing. And was trailing 6-1. He came back to lose 7-5. Yeah.
James made a real nice out the last game.
To keep Ralph from getting on the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, go on the Predator site, take a look at these Predator Arena lights. They're something to behold. I'm becoming more and more of a fan.
All right, we'll see. He kind of crossed the 1 a couple times, and I'm starting to wonder if it's intentional. He hit those much more square. I think that's the intent there, that type of break.
Yeah, what a great cue ball.
And a thin one on the 1. Even though he probably will play it. I don't think it quite banks cross corner, maybe off the 7, but I think he's got to cut it. I think the 2 may be in the way of the bank just a little. I believe these guys do get a minute after the break. Is that correct?
To get a little bit. I'm trying to find. My phone.
Oh, that's a nice shot. You notice how long the stroke was on that thin, nice little cut shot. That really makes the ball cut easy, in my opinion. Get a little short and quick, and ball seems to grab a little bit on you. Really learned something from Ralph there. Now he got a little straight in where he may have to force this a little bit just to get a little closer to the 3. Oh, is he going to draw out of this? Okay, now is he going to lay for the to take the back cut, or is he going to go ahead and come on with the
all
cue
the way
ball?
between the 6 and the 10.
Nice shot.
And I think he got two. He doesn't have a shot to go straight up between the 5-6, does he?
I think so.
It looks like he might. Yeah.
I think he does.
So then he just got dead perfect. Yep. Oh, went right into the 6.
It's going to be a little upsetting. Had to kind of let it go a little bit. Had to, kind of let the cue ball.
That grabbed nice too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Had to
Yeah.
need to let it go a little bit. Don't let it grab so much.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of just use a little more force to create the backspin. Along with the mild backspin, of course. But he needed to create a little angle to come up between those balls.
Wants to get behind the 10. He did. 9-ball blocks his natural angle, going to the, well, maybe not, to the head rail to come back down.
I'd probably kick 2 rails, trying to hit right before that side, maybe with a little bit of kill English. Maybe. Could go 1 rail at it, just straight at it. Nothing wrong with that.
The problem with going 2 rails, I see, is the corner of the side pocket sticks out so big.
Well, you had hit before the side, so.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, just hit it with a little right English so you can straighten the ball out a little bit. And what happens with that kind of shot is when you come across the 4, the cue ball is going to drop downward no matter what. And you hope if you don't make it, the ball hits the side rail, end rail, and comes up a little bit. So 1 rail does the same thing. I think it's a little harder accurate contact than the 2 rails, but just kind of, again, preference a little bit. Now he went 2 rails past the side. Nothing wrong with that. And he's going to leave it tough. Real tough.
Yep.
Ralph may not take much time here and just put him on top of the 10.
And just roll the 4 to the bottom rail.
Yeah, just because, I mean, he could do other things, but he has to kind of control 2 balls if he does something else. Meaning if he tries to get behind the 5 and bank the 4 up, I think maybe I just dink this one and put him on top of the 10 and take my chances. You figure your opponent to hit it, but.
You called it. But he's got to hit it very accurately, and he's got to go to the right to kick at it. Probably
2 rails, right?
You think he'll go 2?
I think so. That separates the cue ball. Again, it sends the cue ball up table, still having a chance to make it, and if you miss it, the problem is people get a little too involved with the 2, meaning they put English on it, and it's easy to whiff it.
That's why I thought it's a pretty steep angle coming off the bottom rail.
Yeah, so you got to learn to know
that
that the second rail puts the English on there, right?
And he missed the whole ball.
Well, once you start to take that angle on, well, naturally the first and second rail together will put some of that English on it to make it almost like right English itself, so you don't really need much at all.
Right.
That's why you see guys miss that one a lot.
They put just a hair on it. It doesn't need it. The rails give it more.
Yeah, exactly. Or they give it enough anyways. And once the object ball starts to get up from the rail, it appears initially that you need to put a lot more on it. They never miss that 2 rail kick when the 4's near that bottom rail, right?
Right. Exactly.
But it can come up 2 or 3 ball widths, and for some reason, all of a sudden, you feel like you got to put a ton of English on the ball.
Gotcha.
Okay, so
it's looking pretty nice for him now to go up a game.
After trailing 3-1. Oh, my.
Oh, he hung that 5 ball.
Well, and I couldn't see it because of the cameraman, and I just saw Ralph stay down on the ball and kind of had a jarry look in his face.
I started to look away, and I saw the 5 just sitting there, just did not go down. Whoa. That's a big ouch.
Indeed. really could change this entire match.
Well, instead of leading 4-3, he's going to trail 4-3. And Justin will be breaking. This morning I was watching the match. I forget who I was watching. And Joey came up and said hi. We stood there for a little bit. And we both started doing commentary on the match. I guess that one match I did with him made us commentary buddies. I thought that was funny. He laughed about it. We both laughed. We had a good laugh.
Oh, yeah. Just like sitting in the room watching.
Yeah.
Well, 4-3. And like you said, Bergman to break off in game number 8. And, you know, probably something like once a year, once every 18 months missed by Ralf Souquet there.
Yeah, that was...
especially in the big moments. I mean,
you know, it's funny. That does come up, and it just happens to everybody. And don't know if you take it for granted or if just before you pull the trigger you move going to the next shot. It's just something that must cause it.
well,
for all players.
I didn't really see a mishit of the cue ball or a quick stroke with Ralph. You know, maybe sometimes we talked about, like, when you want the cue ball to move a certain way, you can accidentally, you know, kind of try to help it a little bit by what you're doing with the object ball, because he did overcut that a little bit to the point. So, and that's the way he wanted to move the cue ball, a little bit more in position for the side pocket. So, just a rare miss, and
Well,
Ralph will regroup. It's happened before to him, I'm sure.
Let's see how big that plays and see if he gets opportunity to make up for it.
Yeah, Justin with the dry break in his last. So, and he hit him kind of, you know, like a little flat, little dead ball. There you, little pop on the cue ball there. That's always better. And he's got a nice shot. The 2's going to open up. He should take a 2-game lead here.
Yeah, it's just a cut shot, go back, end up with the cue ball on the same side as the 1 ball is now.
And now he'll want to make sure he doesn't fall on this, what'll be the going back and forth where the 1's at and fall on the rail. So speed is crucial here to stay out above the ball. Similar to where it's at now, maybe a little further, but not much.
Get a little closer to the 2.
Yeah, that's good speed there. That's never getting to the side rail. You can always play from above it.
Yeah, you get high on it, and then you got to run into the 7. Still leads you to the 3, but you get it in your mind that not where I want to be.
Well, Justin plays a lot of corner position, which I like, so we'll see what he chooses on the 3 ball here. Nothing wrong with the 3 in the side, though, because either side he gets to the 5. Only one that hurts a little bit is kind of straight in.
Like there.
Yeah, he's got just enough to follow.
He's got enough to do what he wants to do, yeah. Well, he's going to have to go to the rail.
Yeah, he's got to follow to the rail and across.
With right English.
This is where you may not broaden it a lot with right English. Just a little. Yeah, just a little there. Not a whole lot of heavy spin, because you don't want to fall, you know, too far away from the 5 ball, right?
No, yeah, you want to stay in tight.
Should roll past the 6 here. Got the corner and the side pocket, and again the 7 very out in the open, right? So when the balls are sitting there and telling you not to panic, kind of remind yourself of that.
I'm good. Even with the shot clock going off.
And it seems like a few of them have been kind of quick, right? I mean, he didn't take much time there on the 5 ball at all, it seemed like.
Yeah.
But I do like the shot clock. I think it's definitely should be a part of our game at the highest level.
Yeah, Justin is wearing that OB patch.
It's kind of up to him here. He can hold it, which is looks like what he's going to do. Just slide up the rail.
That was a good look at the Predator logo, or the word Predator on the bottom of the head rail there. Look at this. Well, he's made quick work of that.
So a lot of pressure on this upcoming break for Ralf Souquet. Of course, he's trailed in a few matches, Ralph. He had a comeback before that he almost won. He trailed in a couple others yesterday, and same thing with Justin today. He had trailed in a match or two, and both of them got through.
I think he was trailing in his match. Who was it that he was playing over in the corner?
His last, second to last match, right before
right
Robinson.
before
He was
Chris,
down 5-2, I believe.
Yeah, he was down.
Pretty good.
Forgot who he was playing.
He was playing Wu. Is that right?
We'll find out.
Pretty sure that's who. You're talking about Bergman, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. I believe it's Wu from Chinese Taipei. Another young man that's improved so much.
It wasn't Corey. It was after Corey. It was Karol Skowarski.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
Skowarski. You're right.
yeah.
You're right. I was watching that match. Exactly what it was. And I believe when I had stepped out of the room, he was down 5-2 before he came back to win it.
Yeah, in fact, I think Karol got on the hill and took his time, and Justin came right back.
Oh, he hit those great. He got a bad kiss on the cue ball. He might get a friendly one here. Ooh, I think it got him into the gap on the 1. That last kiss on the 6. Long distance shot on the 1, but with the 2 hanging. Now, what an important shot.
Oh, wow, what a gap, too.
Yeah.
That's what I call a keyhole.
And should shoot the 2 and be able to move the 5 enough and hold position on the 3. So if he can bury this 1 ball, I think good chance Ralph gets out here.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to move the 5. The 5-6 combo is not too tough, and the 5 definitely plays up table. But you'd like to think he probably will entertain moving the 5 once he shoots the 2. Is that correct,
Well,
George?
he can push it out and be straight in on the 3.
Right.
Yeah, he
So
can
there's
move
not
it.
really many worries there.
Just push it to the bottom rail or off the 6th, anywhere to just get it open. But he can't do that.
And
when he
I'll
come
tell
back to
you,
the table.
and I've seen Ralph's game for a long time, and I saw a little something different right there with his right before his delivery, like his little pause and his little what he does with his moves his backhand a little bit back as his strokes keep going, and just saw a little something different when he delivered the cue there.
Well, I think he'll tell you that was probably a shot he feels he should make all day long.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And as was the, what was it, that 5 ball that he missed earlier?
Yes, sir.
Well, actually, this is how matches are won and lost. Just little unexpected misses. They haunt you.
It's a nice shot, stretching with a lot of right English there. And the reason why that was is he wants to move the 5. He could have made this ball and come on the other side of the 4, right? But now he's got to hit this 2 ball thin to get into the 5, and the cue ball is going to be moving much faster. But now that he can hit the 2 fat, the cue ball goes slowly into the 5, and it won't get away from him. And it won't get away from him. And the main thing is the cue ball won't continue to come down here and give him a tougher shot on the 3. So Justin very aware of things, like always, pretty much.
Good call, yeah. Real good call there. To lay that cue ball between the rail and the 5, pushing it out instead of down towards the 6.
Yeah, and if he has to get thinner on the 2, it's a much touchier shot going into that 5. So just a stun here between the 4 and 8 and back out. Oh, watch out. Wants to get off the rail. Should be okay.
Well, that's one thing about these diamond rails. If you hit them, you don't usually lay on them. They'll bounce.
Yeah, right.
Can't remember who it was once told me, he says, come back to the rail. Just know that you hit it, you're going to bounce off of it.
Okay, I liked him getting closer to that. He could have held for a straighter shot, but I liked him digging into the cue ball, knowing he can do whatever he wants, and he's going to be so accurate from you know what, 2 feet away.
This cue ball will probably end up right where it's at right now.
Yeah, you're probably right. One thing, if he comes around for the corner, he'll definitely guarantee himself getting off the rail with the cue ball.
Well, you know, in fact, this shot, I watched some of the guys play it, and they go right for the side pocket.
And that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Me, I think I'd be going up for the corner because I personally don't like the side pockets.
I don't either. It's just that what he's thinking, though, is if I travel further and I get on the rail, well, now it may be hard to get to the 8. So
if I overshoot it, and or if I hit too close to the ball, then I don't get high enough. Sure.
you'll see guys towards the end of the rack play the sides a little bit more because there's not as much traffic. You know, when you play to the sides and you get a little funny, well, you can't control where the cue ball goes, meaning it's going where it wants somewhat. That's a nice speed there, I think.
Yeah. Dead straight in. Well,
Bergman
on the hill.
And put himself in a position to break the balls at least. He's going to have two breaks at least, to try and win this match.
Bergman looking good here. Will Ralph come back to the table is the question. Out of his control here. Monday, Predator World 10 Ball. Go to world10ball.com. Look up all your information. They have event information. They have player information.
Well, 6-3, and we mentioned it earlier. Whoever wins this match is going to go on to play Chang. The loser in a 4th place finish and should hang their head high. I mean, what a field, 128.
Field of strongest players in the world right here at the Rio.
All right, hit a little bit on the top. So sometimes when you hit a little on the top of the cue ball, you don't get the connection on the rack that you want. So, I mean, you just don't get the, the cue mass, meaning that if the tip's higher, it's a little bit more of a glancing blow than he wanted. So you don't get the energy into the rack, and therefore the balls don't track just exactly how you planned. He's got to let the stroke out here, huh, George? I don't think he can force this to the rail and use that low left and swing the ball between the 210. I think he's got to come more on a straight line.
Looks like he's got to draw the ball straight back towards the 3 ball. That's the line I see. This ball comes back. It'll come back between the 7 and the 3 on the right side. Right by his elbow is the 7.
He's going to catch the 6.
Oops. And he's still going to get down, but he's not going to like where it's going to land.
It's going to land on top of the 2. So Justin's going to get an opportunity at the table here.
Yeah, from 9 feet away.
Most likely, huh?
I'm going to guess he's going to try to put that cue ball behind that 9. Or up in right where he was standing. He just wants to see where it's going to go and how he's going to get there. Looks like he might just come right into the rail here.
He's going to go 2 rails zigzagging in between the 3-7 and up behind the 8.
Yeah.
knows it's touchy to try and shoot through that clip shot, going right into the rail with the cue ball and running it like you were saying. You
Sure.
could foul very
Yeah.
easily, so he's going to go 2 rails here. Still not moving the 2 a whole lot, maybe up underneath the 10.
He doesn't want to catch the 6.
Wow, he got a lot of spin on that. So
He could
Justin's
catch the 6.
Justin's going to have a choice here. I probably like putting the 2 underneath the 3 and swinging the cue ball a couple rails myself with the 5-7 there.
Sure.
I like that better than playing the cue ball underneath the 3.
And if you come in under the 9, you know, things look real good.
Yeah, this is just soft spin. The only accidental thing that could happen here is you make it, right? Like really throw it and make the 2 ball.
That or you catch it a little thick and it goes 2 rails and back out towards the 4. But you're not going to, I don't think you're going to hit it that hard.
Yeah, and I think with the spin, he'll be cutting it more.
Yeah, he could make it.
He's going away from his initial instinct of running the cue ball. He's looking at putting the cue ball behind the 9, but the real shot is running the cue ball, I think. Now he's putting him behind the 3. Yeah, that's the better shot there. I don't like this as near as much as running the cue ball. Yeah, that's not going to get it. And that's very surprising he went with that route with the 5-7 and all that there.
And like you said, that even going behind the 3 was nice.
Yeah. And the funny thing is he intended to go behind and run the cue ball from his initial look.
Up on top?
Yeah, and then once he had to take the extension, he kind of noticed another shot trying to get behind the 3 or what would be the 4-10, I guess. But Ralph's going to try and play this.
Overcut it a little bit, but look at this cue ball. Using the balls that are available to block it. Nice 2-way.
Yeah, and he doesn't really have a path here. Maybe past the 4 and in between the 6-8. Otherwise, we're going to have to see a trick shot of some sort, or maybe tying up the 3 on the 5, something like that.
He doesn't have a 2-railer, does he? No. 8-ball's big.
I think there's a little angle to get through there, like there, right past the side, I think, right between the 6-8.
Oh, wow.
Wow, what a
he came
hit.
underneath the 8 and got just enough
What
ball.
a hit.
Didn't scratch and came right over. Somebody's going to be locked up behind this 9-ball. Right up against it, I think.
Okay, this should be a 2-rail kick kind of mildly. He's got a lot of different ways to slow Ralph down and maybe even snooker him behind the 3 or up behind the 5-7, depending on if he comes across the underneath side of the 2 or the top side. So I don't think this will be a blast. And therefore, he should be very accurate, right, George?
Yeah, if he catches that ball full on the side and the cue ball slides into the 5, oh, what a nice safety he'll have. Now he's going to be behind the 7-5.
And he might play this to the upper left, trying to play a 2-way here, elevating the cue. I would. I like trying to run out from here while having the 2-way.
Because I think you can hold the cue ball right on the 7. Two-way shots are so effective.
Well, he may slow kick of this as well with the 6-8 the way they are. He could go into the 6 easily off the top of the 2 and get a snooker. Yeah, that's a nice hit there. Ralph needs to go ahead and get this past the side, I think, and Go ahead and kill the cue ball off the rail and into the 9. That way you can put a little more speed on the 2 ball. Yeah. Not going to be happy with that.
1 rail kick. Yeah, he can play it too, yeah. Just good crowd for this match. Well, I don't think he has a play on the 2 other than playing safe.
Well, he can cut it, but I don't think he will. Maybe, though. He might. I mean, it's very cuttable for Ralph. I mean, that's not a... I mean, if he shoots at it, I like his chances of making it. That's for sure. I think Justin can go right between the 410 to the side rail, a couple rails, and try and kick and stick this ball and send it to that corner that he's talking about. Not too hard to get him up underneath this 5 and 7 off this shot. Again, a little above medium, probably. Just in case you come behind it, you want to be able to get a rail.
Well, this is what Ralph needed. Opening shot, and now everything kind of opened up. Does that 4 ball come into play here? Looks like his cue ball is lined up.
He can hold it, or he can roll it, kind of, whichever he chooses. Ooh. A little to the right side of the pocket on that 2 ball.
Well, Ralph will work his way through this. No more unexpected misses.
He may have gotten pretty straight there. He may have to play short side on the 5. It's going to be close. May be able to punch up there. Kind of stun the cue ball up. He can't. I don't think he can really roll forward. I think he's got to stun it a little bit.
How about a little stop and bank? Let's see if he can't get on the 5. Well, good. He might choose to bank it. No, he tried to force it, Jeremy. He tried to force the ball down to get a better angle on the 5. It was hard to do.
Yeah, still a miss. Pretty rare.
Yeah, well, it's
pretty rare.
The thing is, he wanted that cue ball. He was watching his cue ball real close. I thought because of that, he might just pocket it and stop the cue ball right there and bank the 5.
Well, I thought he could draw. He had the choice to pinch draw back behind it. I believe it goes by the 7 all the way down as well. So.
Look at this speed. I think is he giving up a little piece of it on the top?
Oh, yeah, he can bank it or cut it. You don't figure the cut. It's super thin, but probably don't figure the bank either. Ralph will probably spin off this kind of heavy and let the cue ball just slide 1 rail behind the 6 and the 8. If he tries to go 2 rails, he could lose this, I think. But meaning he could give him a look at this ball. He's going 2 rails. Cue ball like that. Great touch, though. But he did let him see it. No?
No, does the 8 ball got him?
I think so.
It looks like it's open.
Well, he's not acting like he's disgusted.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a harder way to guarantee the snooker, but still a pretty containing shot. Can't fault Ralph at all, as usual.
He doesn't do many things wrong, I tell you. The only thing he's done is missed a couple of balls.
Like to kick in behind this, huh?
Just like that?
Yeah, cue ball perfect. And that's why that we talked about it all week. At this level, that separation does mean something, but you're taking the worst of it. You really need to get that snooker.
Looks like a 2. He's calling it over there. I like the 2-railer between the 9-7.
Yeah, and I think you can still call that pocket. It might bank off the 6 over that way, actually. He's going 2 rails this way, so I'm not sure. Does he think he can make this off the 8, or is he calling the 8? That's probably what he called as the 8. Yeah, you see how the ball's moving over that way? I'm guessing that's what he probably called anyways. So Justin with a couple of nice little shots, containing shots. Made a nice kick to get himself into position to put Ralph a little bit on the ropes, maybe with a good snooker.
Well, I would say he's in control here.
Just wants to float by the
As long as
5.
he, puts the cue ball where he wants to. Yeah, this is a rail first. Can he get off the 5?
Yeah, he can get off the 5. And trying to see what he can he kick and stick? That's what he'd really like to do, but I think draw is going to come across that a little much. Oh, he's coming a couple rails here. He's going to try and lay on top of the 4, maybe sending the 4 barely past the 9 ball. When you kick like this, you normally aren't kicking with a lot of speed in this situation.
Just kind of
kicking kind of light.
Just like that.
Too much.
Oh, he just barely missed it. He could have slid off of it and got behind the 9.
And moving that 9 helped Justin a lot, I think, but not going to really make too much of a difference. Have to shoot maybe a 4-8 combination. Yeah, I think I just shoot the 4-8. I don't think he has an extension left, so he's got to get at it one way or another. He's got.
We're about to hear the buzzer go off. There it goes. Now he can't get up off the shot. He's not going to get a rail.
Yeah, that's in. Wow.
Oh, my Lord.
He almost got position.
He didn't think it was going to get there. Entertaining shot for the fans.
Very surprising, though. He's going to get a bit of a roll here. Ralph can see a portion of it, but I don't think he can see enough to bang it around table and draw the cue ball there. I don't think he can see enough of it to follow and get the ball down table and hold the ball. So I was about to say, no, I think he can cut it in. That's my point. I think he has to go at this, meaning I don't really see any safety at all. He just doesn't have enough of the 5 to really hold the cue ball up. Both have used their extensions. Oh, he's playing a mild safety that he knows is not going to probably come out so great, but
he hasn't given it away. He's going to have to earn it.
I think I play the 7-8 here, right? Bank the 5 over beyond the 7 and bring the cue ball behind the 8.
Sure, just take a natural bank at it, yeah.
Yeah, don't try to make it.
Because your shape on the 6 ball is going to be very natural.
Well, no, don't try to make the 5, I don't think. Just play it across like
way?
that. Yeah,
okay, and get the 8 ball behind, behind the 8.
Yeah, you got 2 balls there with the 7. If you get the 5 to the side rail, you're golden, you know.
Gotcha. I was thinking of trying to make it and come down with the cue ball. You have a shot, like a 2-way shot.
Oh, you mean cross corner?
Cross corner, yeah.
I think the camera was fooling us there. The cross corner, the ball was pretty high up there.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Meaning cue ball's going to be racing pretty good if you really give it a stab at going. So.
You know, I like the way you put that, Jeremy. The camera was fooling us instead of saying, George, you're crazy.
Well, watch out for the scratch. Yeah. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Didn't scratch, but.
I think this is the break that Justin needed.
Yeah, and he'll just kill the cue ball here, taking that nice little natural angle on the 6 on the side that gets him behind the 8. And we should be seeing, don't want to speak too soon because he had ball in hand just a moment ago, but should be seeing Chang and Bergman in the semifinal to see who goes on to play Aranis. Yeah, I like him coming out, right there on this. A lot of people hold to that straight in, or they want to cinch this ball a little more. You got to think about it just like any other moment. You want a little angle on the 8 here. So you want to come off the rail. Don't get jacked up on the 9, of course, but oh, he missed it. Ooh.
Whoa.
That was a little wide right.
Yeah. It's funny, those shots look like they're just outside the pocket. And not quite. Well, this looks kind of bleak for Ralph.
Yeah, what a great tournament, though. Ralf Souquet, another one he can, of course, it wasn't a title, but another one he can put in his books that he played just fabulous pool.
I think more than anything, the satisfaction of playing such great pool.
Well, and it's a big confidence booster coming into next week.
Well, a fine 4th place finish for Ralf Souquet in this 128 player field. We'll be back with Junling Chang and Justin Bergman.